Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be unboxing this group of 21 silver crowns or crown size coins. I paid $1,000 for it, and I just saw a brief photo, and so I didn't really actually I didn't have a description. I just saw some exciting looking coins. Felt like I was confident around that number. Kind of in the worst case, we take like a 10-20% loss, and maybe have some upside, maybe some significant upside around it. So I'm going to try to be careful. I'm actually, surprised that they're all just like in a bag like this, but I'm pumped up. Got the package in recently and was going to be thrilled about some of the, better world items that appear to be inside. At first glance, there's some pretty old stuff. So I'll take these out of the bag and then go one by one through the coins. It looks like there's some designs I'm not super familiar with or I haven't handled in the past. I also am pretty familiar. This is like a Spanish 5 peseta, so it'll be good to take a look at what we've got and see how we did. And we'll start out with the coin that I mentioned, the King Alfonso the 13th for the, I don't know what the of God, maybe for the glory of God. There's a little bit of an X mark in Alfonso's head, and it must have been that he was a child. It's a child's head portrait when he came in as an official king, and then certainly would have grown into that, unless he met some sort of early fate, which I'm not sure. But we have a interesting sort of pillar and classic look for the Spanish item on the reverse, and that's a good start. Early late 19th century item, and that'll take us to our next French Indochina, which I believe is like Vietnam. 900 pois is 90% silver. I don't know if that's the Paris mint. That's the same, A is where they minted coins. That was the mint mark for Paris in France. It's been a little bit cleaned, but these are also pretty sought after crown size items, and a lot of them are in that condition, so it's not super surprising to see. Very interesting. French Republic on the front with a crown. Looks like the Statue of Liberty, which is also fun. This coin I don't recognize quite as well. It's fairly scratched up, but it's Cristobal Colon. Un peso, America Central. I wonder if it's like Costa Rica, because I feel like that was where the Colon is. Again, has been scratched up, but also a nice, and here it's saying Republic of El Salvador, 1894, 90% silver down there. So that could be pretty good. I haven't seen this type before, and I could see at the very least, I guess the break-even point is like $50 a coin here, or a little bit less than that, call it like 47, 48. I'm a little slow on the math at the moment, but basically, what I'm saying is some of these I probably factored in at paying like 70, 80 for. Others are more like the $30, and some are right around the 50, with the target of probably making like 20% across the batch. So this is a nice item. And again, I would sell it. I would note that it had some of those issues as I sold it. Right here, we have one that's probably worth a little bit less than that. It's an 1867 5 francs from Belgium. Actually, it could be a solid value, though. Leopold the Second, King of the Belgians. And yeah, I mean, it's a decent item. And this one, some of these, they're also very frequently cleaned. This one looks pretty original and nice looking, though it has definitely circulated. After that, it looks like with a countermark right there, we've got a Japanese 1 yen coin. I can't read the lettering. I'd assume that this is the early 1900s with the nice dragon on the inside of it. And then on this side, it looks like there's 4 clear countermarks. I feel like that's much more common over in Asia, where there would be a larger prevalence of the counter stamps, basically marking that they'd been tested and were good according to these different ruling authorities, or not ruling authorities, but like money checking authorities. And, that's very common. We see, just as a note, like a lot of the trade dollars, or British trade dollars, US trade dollars, feature counter stamps. I haven't seen them quite as much on the Japanese items. Right here, we've got an 1864 Peruvian 9 decimos. I've sold a nice number of 50% silver sol coins, but this one's earlier, 1864. Not remembering when they receive independence from Spain, but presumably before this time period. I think a lot of that happened in the early 1800s in South America. And then here we have a King Louis XVI. So he was the person who would have been beheaded in the French Revolution. What was that, 1792, 1793 era? And Et Nav is also refers to their control over Navarre, which is a province that now belongs to Spain. 1789 is this coin. I don't know, it's Nomen Domini Benedictum, but the interesting Paris mint there, Fleur de Lis, the interesting thing here is, again, this is going to be a Latin, so there would sometimes be some French versions and some Latin versions. Lud is Ludovicus, that's the Latin, and then XVI is 16th DG. Refers to something, not referring to God. There we have a Mexican Republic 8 reals. This is going to be a little bit earlier, 1841, 8 reals. And I'm sure OM is, I don't actually know. Maybe that refers to the person who minted it. Worn coin, but charming earlier, and you can see the date pretty clearly. So that definitely makes a difference on an item like that. Always want to have the date available, just a general rule on the coins, obviously. Here, Eingeden Gedenktaler zu Schillers 100-jähriger Geburtsfeier. Geburts is like birthday, so I wonder if it's an 100 Jahre, it's like the 100th year, some sort of commemorative, 1890, 1859. I don't know who Scheller is, though. And Gedenk maybe is like a thanktaler, so really unclear to me what all the signa, all that, if this is a metal. I think it's Freistadt Frankfurt. I think it's like a circulating commemorative, but I haven't seen the type before, and I could see this one being somewhat valuable. Really, really fun item. Mid 1800s as well. We have another Louis the 16th, 1786, a little bit earlier. Silver coin. I want to say that these are écus or écus, but I am not super sure. But very, very fun. I think those are pretty valuable. Here we see an 1888 Brazil Petrus the second, Pedro the second, and it has this interesting blue toning. I don't know if it was like an old cleaning and then that surfaced later, but it's a 2000 race coin from 1888. I've handled a few, I forget if it was that date, similar items. Then right here you can see that there's some cleaning on the inside of it, but another Japanese 1 yen. And again, the date is going to be spelled out right here. I don't know the Japanese characters. It might be worth learning, but this would have been, again, the Meiji, which I think after the Meiji comes the like Taisho rule in around 1914. So this probably would have been like 1870 but it's not the 1870 design. Probably early 1900s, but could be as early as the late 1800s. This one is interesting. I don't recognize this design. It says Bolivar, so maybe it's a Venezuelan coin. Libre por la Constitución. Interesting reverse type. Bolivia. Wow. Interesting. And 8S. So I would have said 8 reals, but maybe it's not 8 reals. That one looks pretty cool, and it almost has these like, oh my gosh, are those camels or alpaca? I'm not even sure, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident in the authenticity on all of these, and so this is probably a pretty nice pickup. And again, another really solid early silver coin from South America, Central America. That's South America, though. Here, 1871 5 francs with some luster still remaining is great. Yeah, the similar Leopold II type that we got before from Belgium. Let's see. Here we've got a Emperor Napoleon 5 francs from 1808. Super cool. French Republic. That's a nice coin. Huge fan of anything of Emperor Napoleon. Pumped up about that one. Sweet. That's great. Very key historical figure. This one is a Wilhelmina. She was ruling during World War II in the Netherlands. This is more of in the 20, 25. I don't want to like say values that are higher. I've sold these anywhere between like 15 and 25 or so. But this one has some nice luster, but it's probably the lowest value coin so far of the hunt. This is a nice looking King Louis the 18th, French king of 1823. So after Napoleon, I believe he was the first ruler, and then comes like Charles, and then Louis Philippe, and then they have a republic period, and then Emperor Napoleon III, who's Napoleon's nephew, seizes control. There we've got an 1835 8 reals. This one looks like it's in a little bit better condition versus the previous, and has a different, I think that the earlier one was the cap and raise. Let me try to find it. Yeah, I think that's what they call it, cap and raise, versus the nice reverse scene there. Here we've got an 1897 peso Also has some wipe marks, 25 gramos. It's a Dominican Republic item of a little bit earlier. It looks like the Bible being featured very prominently would be my guess, which is great. And then right here we've got a bit scratched up King Louis, maybe another large silver écu, most likely 1790. Great item, and that would be our third. I don't think I've ever sold an écu before. And then right here we've got a more classic 8 reals. This one's from the Lima Mint, M-A-E, Lima, Peru, 8 reals, Spanish colonial Peru. And a bit of a graffiti mark right there. Somebody carved in an H. Maybe it was for my last name, Harch, from 1820, Ferdinand the 7th. So I think that this is a pretty good mix of items. Very happy to unbox it as always. It's always exciting. I always want to show the new inventory and the fun items that I get to, maybe hold on to. I'm going to learn a lot more about that coin, a little bit of the context around the French stuff, Bolivian 8S, super sweet, and up here also some interesting. The countermark's probably going to be a while before I can talk too intelligently on them, but as always, lots of fun coins, and I'm pumped to take a look at them. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another.